Yo, what is up? Right now, it might be a little bit noisy at times because I'm out on this balcony in Colombia and there's cars passing by. My back's against some pillows. But I want to explain to you something I explained to one of my clients today. And this is something that would really, really help the fear and anxiety and anticipation you feel. Like, let's just say you have a party coming up today, or you have an event you're supposed to go to 2 days from now, or you have a presentation to give a week from now, or you have a speech to give a month from now. There is an anticipation and an anxiety that comes up in these times that are not beneficial, that only cause you more suffering than need be, and are just frankly fucking useless. And the crazy part is you can get to the end of the speech and see nothing happen that you thought was going to happen. Or even if it did happen, it wasn't as bad as you expected it to happen or feel. It wasn't as bad as you expected it to feel. So what's the point of these thoughts? What's this point of the anxiety? There's one part to it to understand this, right? To understand there's no point of having this anxiety and worry and anticipation when it's never as bad as your thoughts. Your thoughts are making it much worse than what it actually is. But another side to this is actually not getting the anxiety, not getting the worry, not getting the doubt, because you can understand it logically that it doesn't make sense to think like this. But your emotional side of you, your emotional brain, still senses fear, still senses danger. And because in the past it's caused some type of pain or suffering, you have to anticipate about it because it's going to cause you the same pain and results that happened in the past, right? And that's why you have these thoughts. So this is what I talked to my client about. It's really as fucking simple as seeing you only have two options. You really, really only have two options when it comes to a party, comes to a presentation, comes to an event that you're scared about. You can go to it or you can avoid it. All right? Those are your only two options. Now let's break down these two options. If you avoid it, all right? Let's say you feel this tension, you feel this embarrassment, you feel this anxiety coming up and this anticipation, and you use that as a reason to avoid. Use it, you listen to it, you listen to this fear, and you don't go to that event, that party, that presentation. What will happen then? All right, so that was a choice that may have saved you one night. All right, may have saved you one night of pain and suffering, or one hour, whatever it may be. What will that result in? What will that result in? Now you have solidified that you do not have what it takes to be at a party or do a presentation. You have solidified that in your brain that you are not man enough, you are not woman enough. You have lost a sense of self-trust that you can show up for yourself. If you can't show up to an event that you want to go to, or you can't give a presentation, how are you going to trust yourself to show up for anything else? How are you going to trust yourself to show up for you? You won't. You lose that self-trust. You lose that self-love. Your inner child gets fucking angry because it wants to go and express itself. It doesn't want to feel like it always has to hide in its shell. You lost the self-trust. You lost the self-love. You didn't desensitize yourself to any feelings. You listened to these feelings. You didn't have the opportunity to prove this anxiety wrong. You listened to the anxiety, and now you believe what you made up in your fucking brain of what's going to happen. You now believe that's what would have happened. You don't have the opportunity to prove that shit wrong. And that's where the real terrible mindset with your stutter comes in is when you don't take the actions. Now you're just forced to believe what kept you from going to that party, those anxieties that you made up. But we already came to the fucking conclusion that shit never happens, or it's not as bad as you think it is. Always, always. And now that you didn't have the opportunity to prove this shit wrong, you just believe that that's what would have happened. Now, of course, you don't want to go out next time. Now, of course, you just fucking stunted all the momentum you have to go and have more confidence, to go and have a life that you want, to go and have interesting conversations. You just stunted all this momentum to gain connections to other people, and you had a repressive time in your head, and you're in anxious, lonely, isolated, disconnected feeling spot for as long as you will be until you go and take another action. So you have that option. It sounds fucking delightful, doesn't it? You have that option. You cannot take the action. Or you have option 2. And you can take the action with the understanding that you're always doing your fucking best. Alright? And this is massive. You are always doing your best. Oftentimes we don't want to go into this party, go into this event, presentation, when we feel anxious, when we feel nervous, when we feel disconnected or envious or whatever it may be. We don't want to go into that because we know we have a different version of ourselves, a more happy version, a more confident version, a more self-assured version, a more dominant version. We know we have those versions that we're not right now, and that's what makes us want to hold back, because we know we can be better and we don't want to show up in an anxious way. But listening to that thought and not understanding we're always doing our best, you must understand we're always doing our best. The only way to be more confident in that presentation, the only way to be more confident in that party is to go into that party when you're anxious, knowing that this is the best you could possibly be. If you could be less anxious, of course you would be. You can't. I bit my tongue. You can't right now. You simply cannot, or else you would be. You have to accept the only way to grow is to accept exactly how you fucking feel and go and put yourself in that situation anyways, because the people that are right for your life will accept the version of you that is open but not perfect. I may have said that wrong. The people that are perfect for your life, that are going to connect with you, will accept you when you're not being perfect, but you're being open and you're being vulnerable. That's when you will have the most amazing fucking connections. If you are perfect and you're fully confident and you're fully fucking woke and you don't have any problems going on in your life, and now you can go and do that presentation, nobody will have anything to fucking relate to. No one will see your pain. No one will see that you're anxious. No one will see you're fucking human. The best way to get the connections that you want in your life is to show up imperfectly, with your heart fucking open, vulnerably, bleeding, and saying, this is me. And people will accept that version of you, or some people will not. And the people that would not accept the anxious version of yourself is not right for your life anyway. There's no harm to show up that way. There's only a temporary pain of discomfort or disapproval you will feel from that person. But overall, that's fucking amazing to learn that this person isn't right for you. This person is not right to take on in your journey. But you will meet other people that are. And I have a fucking amazing story for this. Is just about 2 months ago. I'm in Colombia right now, in Medellin. I went to a place called Santa Marta. I usually don't drink, and the night I got there, I drank with the friends that I went with, and I felt like absolute shit in the morning. Absolute shit. And that night, I wasn't the most expressive. I was kind of repressive. I was kind of in my head. I was feeling like, oh my god, I have a client call tomorrow. How am I going to be in the right mindset to give them what they actually need to be expressive if I'm not doing it right now? And I got in my head, and I fell asleep late at like 2 p.m. I had like 3 hours of sleep. I think even less than that. I woke up and I just felt like absolute shit. I went throughout my day. I hit lunchtime, right? I didn't even shower yet. My hair was a fucking mess. I had these short shorts on, and I fucking chicken legs with short shorts, pink short shorts, and a tank top. I looked like I was found in a trash can. I felt like shit. I went to lunch by myself. As soon as I walked in through those doors in lunch, I made eye contact with this like 40 to 50-year-old lady. I'm not sure her exact age. I'll say 40 just in case she watches this. And instantly I felt like excitement inside of me. But I said to myself, I looked like shit. Like, she was beautiful. She was absolutely beautiful. The best 40-year-old I've ever seen in my life. But I was anxious and I felt like shit. I didn't feel like the version of me right now was good enough to talk to her. But I still fucking talked to her. And I said, you know what? This is going to be a story. Let's keep my heart open. Let's be vulnerable. Let's share shit. This was one, and I was anxious and I was feeling shitty. This was one of the best first interactions I've had in my entire life. If not the best. If not the very best first interaction. If not the very best first interaction I've ever had. Why? Because it was lunch. We would have stayed there 15 minutes max, but we stayed there for about an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half. We talked about fucking everything. I cried, she cried, told me stories about her past relationships. I told her stories about everything I've been through and all my trauma. She talked about her trauma. She talked about what helped for her. She suggested things for me. I suggested things for her. We exchanged contact information. It was fucking beautiful. I've never cried in a fucking lunch spot in a first interaction with someone. It was the most intimate, beautiful, rare, unique interaction, connection that I've ever had so fucking quickly. And I was at my fucking worst. I was sick. I was hungover. I felt like shit. I looked like shit. There was nothing that could have been more repulsive to me, I thought, in another person than what I was in that current state. But I still showed up with my heart open, and I had one of the most amazing connections I've ever had in my life. Imagine if I didn't show up. That was so fucking healing. Imagine if I didn't show up. Imagine if I used an excuse of, oh, I'm anxious, I feel like shit, I shouldn't talk to this person right now, I shouldn't be in this interaction. I would have listened to my brain, and I would have said, yeah, that's right. This person won't like you. You shouldn't talk. And I would have fucking believed that. But because I proved that wrong in my brain, I'm in the understanding now. I know for fucking fact that the version of me I can show that's open and honest is always going to be the version that will bring me the most connections as long as I just stay open. And that's your second option, all right? Your first option is to avoid it. Your second option is to say, I'm doing the best I fucking can right now. The only way for me to get better, more confident, have higher self-esteem is by doing it and proving these thoughts wrong. I'm always doing my best. That's it. Once you truly fucking understand that, why is there anxiety? Why is there fear? It doesn't make any sense. But you have to go and take action to really solidify this, to make a real impact in your life. Alright? That's what I wanted to share with you. My name is Chis Gillis. I help people overcome stuttering the authentic way, without speech techniques, but by addressing the real root issues. And if this was valuable for you, and you like the way my brain works and the way my brain thinks about stuttering and how I overcame my stutter, then you can click the closest link down below in the description. You can book your free one-on-one call with me. You can hop on a call, analyze your situation, see where you're at, and see exactly what we would need to do to get you to your goals, and if you would like to take that process on with me. But besides that, I absolutely love you. Book your free call. First link in the description. If you want to talk to me and see how I can help you, I love you. I'll talk to you soon.